It's so f***ing hot. I'm sweating my ass off and I'm fired up. I'm making tonight's video all about the unprecedented heat waves that the Pacific Northwest and Canada are going through, what a heat dome is, and what's causing all of these heat waves. It's these words. It's two of those three words. So I have no air conditioning and I'm up in my third story attic. It is so hot, it's hard to even think. I live in St. Louis and today it's actually cooler than it has been. I've had a couple days over 100 degrees and my wife and I slept in our living room on an air mattress to try to stay cool. It's rough, and that was 104 degrees. It's not 118 degrees or 116 degrees or 121 degrees like it's been in Canada. I feel so bad for all of you in the Pacific Northwest. Please hang in there. Please be safe, stay hydrated, stay as cool as you can. So the summer of 2021 just started and we've already seen unprecedented high pressure systems, unprecedented record shattering temperatures and heat waves and heat domes. The top of the line climate science has been predicting this. It's been saying that we are going to be experiencing more frequent, more intense, and longer durations of heat waves, and we're living it, people. It is not decades down the road. We are living right in the middle of it right now. Records have been smashed. In Salem, Oregon, it was 117 degrees today. In Portland, Oregon, they beat their own personal heat record 3 days in a row, eventually topping out at 116 degrees, which is 9 degrees higher than their previous all-time temperature. It's 108 degrees in Seattle, and in Canada, it reached 121 degrees. In Canada, 65% of the state of Utah is at their highest level of drought that you can even reach. Wildfires are already starting. 52 wildfires are already going on at the time of making this video. By tomorrow, it'll probably be up in the 70s or 80s. This is just the beginning of summer. It's still June. It's not even July yet. In British Columbia, Canada, 230 deaths were reported. More than 60 people have died in the Pacific Northwest directly from heat-related incidents. Power cables have literally melted. Roads have buckled. Wildfires have started, droughts have started, people are dying of hypothermia in their own apartments. It is so hot filming this video. As you can see, I'm covered in sweat, if you can see that much. And this is nothing like what people are dealing with in the Pacific Northwest or other parts of the world on a routine basis. People in the Middle East go through this kind of stuff all the time. It's terrible. So you've probably heard the term heat dome over the last week or so. So what exactly is a heat dome besides a third story attic? So a heat dome is a slow moving, hot air, high pressure system that just kind of stays in one place when it forms over the top of mountains, and it blocks new weather systems from forming in. It's basically just a mass of warm air that is stuck over a specific area, and right now it is stuck over the Pacific Northwest and Canada. I have seen several things on Instagram from people that I follow, just news outlets, and it really got me thinking, these heat waves are man-made crimes. They're literally crimes, and they're man-made. Make no mistake to think that these are naturally occurring heat waves. This is man-made heat waves, man-made droughts, man-made wildfires, and man-made deaths, all as a result of the fossil fuel industry ignoring for decades and decades and decades the problem. ExxonMobil itself had a study in 1979 stating that burning fossil fuels, quote, will cause dramatic environmental effects in the coming decades. The potential problem is great and urgent. Did they work to fix the problem? No. They actually spent billions of dollars squashing it and billions of dollars running an ad campaign for decades and decades, blaming the problem on individuals. And they continued to choose wealth over the health of the planet and over individuals who are now dying as a result of their greed. Oh, man. So let's talk hypotheticals here. Let's say that a company, let's call it Flexon Mobile, went around and poisoned local swimming pools in a city. Do you think that if it was found out that they went around and they poisoned local swimming pools, killing people that were swimming in those pools, that they would just simply get away with it? No, they would be in huge legal trouble. People would go to jail, they would be sued, they would be shut down. And just because it's on a global scale, people almost can't wrap their head around it. And that's why they're technically getting away with it the way that they have. It's only until recently that people have begun suing them. And it is my personal hope that they get their asses sued off, that people go to jail, and that they get shut down, because that's what needs to happen. And all this bullshit that people like to say about, oh my God, Travis, our economy would shut down if we just got rid of fossil fuel industries overnight. I'm not talking overnight, but I am talking about rapidly dismantling them and transitioning to a clean economy. Transitioning to a clean economy would not bankrupt the economy. It would be a boon to the economy. It would create jobs. It would create billions of dollars. And it would stop the burning of fossil fuels, which is what's causing these unprecedented heat waves, which is killing people. It is not even July yet. The wildfires that we saw last year are nothing compared to what the wildfires will be this year, and then they will probably be topped again the next year, and the next year, and the next year. Climate change is worse than you think. We are currently decades and decades ahead of where climate scientists thought that we would be. These unprecedented heat waves they thought would be around in maybe 30 or 40 years, but they're here now. So just imagine how bad it's going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. People have such a hard time even imagining a few years into the future, but it's here now, like the great Bill Paxton says in Twister. It's already here. The United States alone spent $100 billion on climate change disasters last year alone. $100 billion. So every time that someone comes to me and asks me questions about climate change, I try to tell them that the problem is way worse than you think it is because it is such a chain reaction type of a thing. So right now, there are rolling blackouts happening, which are causing people to not even be able, not only not use air conditioning, but not even be able to use fans to cool off. So people are dying inside their homes, inside their apartments. Elderly people who can't just get up and, go to the mall to cool off. People are dying. So the heat is causing people to crank up their AC and electricity use, which is causing rolling blackouts, which is causing more people to die. It's a terrible cycle. It's causing the droughts, which are causing the wildfires, which are causing more people to die. The more electricity use, the more wildfires that we have, it's polluting the world more just by people trying to stay alive by staying cool enough. So I'll leave you with this note. When you hear about these heat waves, and you will eventually be reading about all these wildfires that are happening in July and August and September, don't just read it with the eye of, man, it's really unfortunate what's happening out there. Of course it's unfortunate what's happening out there, but it is man-made. Just remember that. And it could have been prevented, and it wasn't because of greed. And now the world is literally suffering the consequences of it. So please remember that every time that you read about climate change, that you see videos about climate change, that you think about climate change, look at it through that lens. It is man-made, and we are going through the man-made consequences of it. The fossil fuel industry is numero uno, bad guy number one, in case you don't know simple Spanish. We love you here in St. Louis. Everywhere around the world loves you, and stay cool. Sorry I look so gross, but I love you too.